we have the hourly price chart for NVIDIA Corporation, stock ticker NVDA. Here we can see that the stock is attempting to make a move higher here. We're actually seeing a bit of a gapping formation here to the top side in the candlestick patterns. As we can see here, we've got a bit of a price gap. We can kind of zoom in on this a little bit. This is being confirmed by upward movements in the overall trading volume. As we can see here, there's a larger green bar as opposed to the red bar that follows it. These differences are not as apparent in the candlesticks themselves, but what this does tell us is that there's a larger number of people in the market that are bullish on the stock rather than bearish, and are most likely looking to buy the stock into these recent lows. So to start the week, this is a bit of an encouraging development. What this has done effectively is to send share prices above the 20-period exponential moving average. That's this yellow line here. We're having a bit of trouble, however, at the 50-period exponential moving average, which is not totally surprising because we are seeing a bit of a confluence here with the 200-hour exponential moving average, which is the blue line. So, given the fact that we are seeing two kind of moving averages align with one another, it's not totally surprising that we would be seeing some resistance in this area. But all of that said, what we need to be thinking about a bit more long-term here is the fact that we're now kind of venturing into this prior gapping territory, which was seen to the downside. This more recent, shorter-term gap is an upside price gap, but the prior price gap was to the downside, and we're now kind of filling in those orders as we speak. So, the expectation here really would be that we would see a break back all the way up to roughly 125 here, so that we can really fill these orders. Currently, the highs are coming in at we're seeing highs of 123.28. This would be the July 22nd trading session. We would probably need to see a bit more follow through here in order to fill this price gap. And then if this does actually happen, we should see prices completely move above this exponential moving average cluster. So you would be above all four moving averages at that point. This is positive. These are positive developments here, and it's a positive sort of outlook. But we do have to kind of remember here what type of damage was done to this price chart during these recent declines that we've been seeing. So, in particular, what I would want to point to would be the moving average cluster itself, sort of the behavior of the moving average cluster itself. As we can see here, we've got several downside crossovers here in the EMAs. The first one that you would point to would be the yellow line here, which is the 20-hour exponential moving average. This effectively dropped through all of the other major exponential moving averages: orange line, purple line, and blue line most recently. This is a fairly significant crossover at this point, and it does suggest that momentum could be focused on the downside for quite some time. Just filling this price gap is probably not going to be enough to reverse this activity, because there is a significant number of downside crossovers at this point. In particular, what I would be watching from here would be the activity that is seen with this 50-period EMA and this 200-period EMA. So the orange line and the blue line. We're trading very close to each other at this point. We're almost right on top of each other with these two lines. So what will be important here will be whether or not this orange line crosses below the blue line. If that does happen, you've got a 50-period EMA crossover, and that would be a much more bearish signal than simply this 20-period exponential moving average crossover. So, currently we are seeing some resistance here. It's kind of debatable how this is going to unfold. The fact that prices did fall here does suggest that this crossover will be to the downside. It's possible that we could just kind of curl up here and continue moving higher. We have not seen the cross yet. So, I'm not looking into a crystal ball at this point. I would wait for the crossover to actually happen rather than making an assumption. But this is kind of the area that I'm watching here. What will be happening with these exponential moving averages? Downside cross here is probably going to force a retest of these lows once this price gap is filled to the top side, and we see prices probably sort of retrace back to roughly 125.70 level, and then start to reverse lower once again. But there are still some factors here that are unsolved, unresolved. We can't exactly make any assessments there just yet. Currently, we have to continue to look at the indicator readings. Most recently we saw a downside break in this upward trend in the in the relative strength index. That would be the purple line down here. We were trying to sort of develop an uptrend here, positive momentum signal. But this broke relatively quickly. And of course, this goes back to this Thursday, July 11th trading session that I've been pointing to for quite a while. I mean, to me, this was really the turning point in the market. There were many stocks that started to fail at this point. This is really when we started to see things kind of turn for the technology space. I do think that trading session is ultimately going to be what sets the tone for tech stocks for the remainder of the summer. Currently, if we're looking at the indicator reading, we do have to kind of point to the fact that the longer term trajectory here does remain to the downside if we're looking at the prior all-time highs, which were posted on June 20th. These came in at 140.76. So this event here, this top here, sort of connects to this Thursday, June 11th. Keep doing that. July 11 trading session to form this downtrend in price momentum in the relative strength index. So currently this trend still remains valid. So the underlying price momentum here does remain to the downside, even though we are seeing some shorter term price gaps higher. I'm not totally surprised that we're seeing these upward movements, and now that we have broken resistance at this would be 122.40. The July 18 highs. This does sort of pave the way for the stock to be able to refill its price gap to the top side. So overall, these are the factors that I'm watching. Currently, the major support level comes in, I would say, right around 116.50 would be the major support zone here. And we would really need to see a break of resistance at roughly 129 in order to take pressure off of the downside. And sort of alleviate this downtrend that is currently developing. One other note here: the username for this account will be changing relatively soon, probably this week. Currently, it's Competitive Technology, but it will be changing this week. I think that my what my charts and every my thumbnails and things like that are roughly going to be looking the same, so it shouldn't be too difficult to figure out who is who. As far as these analysis videos are concerned, but just keep an eye out for that. The username for this account will be changing this week. So here's the current market analysis for NVIDIA Corporation, stock ticker NVDA.